Good morning, everyone. I am Jonathan J. Reinert here from Wargaming Recon, coming at you with another pandemic coffee break. Today is Wednesday, May 20th, 2020, and I am lucky enough to work from home. And just like when I'm at work, I'm taking a coffee break. I'm spending my coffee break with you with my mysterious, hidden behind an invisibility cloak, Tim Hortons mug, decaf Earl Grey tea, cream, and Splenda. So I hope that you have your favorite beverage with you. Please drop a comment to let us know that you're watching us live. And if you're watching us after the fact, that's awesome because these are saved to YouTube and to Facebook. So please leave a comment as well then because we see them and then we'll respond to them. And you can always see these at any time of day or night, depending on your availability and viewing decisions. So that's a neat thing about them being saved because they are saved to our Working Recon Facebook page and also our YouTube channel as well. Loving me some decaf Earl Grey tea. So let's welcome those of you who are watching us live this morning. So we have Dale here. Good morning, Dale. Thank you for joining us today. And Philip, hello. Thank you for joining us during tea time across the pond. Wonderful. And hi, David. Thank you for joining us today. And Nathan, Nathan, I'm making picnic tables. Ooh, we'll ask you about that in a minute. Mike says, hey, I made it. Hi, Mike. Thank you for joining us. And Dave, hello, Dave. Thank you for tuning in. So today we have breaking news for you, which you probably already heard because it happened yesterday after our pandemic coffee break. But breaking news is Gen Con has been canceled. So I actually want to show you what they've done as their press release about this, because I'm sure this was not an easy decision for them to make. So let's just go over here so you can see the press release. And it said they put this out yesterday. It says, it is with a heavy heart that we must announce the cancellation of Gen Con 2020 this August in Indianapolis. Safety and health of our attendees, exhibitors, and staff are the utmost importance to us. We cannot in good conscience host a gathering of thousands while doing so could threaten the health of so many. Now, there were a couple of interesting things here that I think in particular. This is more than just oh, we're so sorry. So they take a moment here to say that they really are a small group of people who actually run this, 14 people who are part of the Gen Con LLC. And that if you want to be helpful in keeping their staff employed, you can roll your badge over to 2021, which will happen automatically unless you say otherwise. And if you want a refund, they give a link. So you get yourself over to gencon.com, and then you click right on the top of the page. It says, like, we made an announcement, blah, blah, blah. Plus, if you already have a badge, they're going to email you, as they say here, with instructions. And if you use their housing portal to book your hotel, it's already been canceled without any fees. If you haven't done that, you want to get in touch with your hotel and cancel right away. All pop-up events are canceled for 2020. Retailers are being contacted with instructions. But then also, they're doing an online convention. Interesting idea. It's never been done before. So this online convention is going to help for those who will miss out on some of the stuff that is happening. Would have happened anyway at Gen Con. So it's being done. The original dates of the convention, July 30th to August 2nd. And if you head on over to gencon.com/online, all it does is say that they're going to do a thing online with streaming shows, remote gaming, and more 4 days of events and programming that you can attend from the safety of your devices and in the comfort of your favorite quarantine sweatpants. But they don't have any other information. I can't tell you if it's going to cost anything extra or if it's free or how they're working it or anything, but it is a thing that's going to be coming. So that's something you can check out if you are so inclined. But really, this is huge news. It's actually made like mainstream news outlets, and partly because it is the largest tabletop gaming convention in all of North America. Gen Con Indy is huge. And beyond that, it has ramifications for the entire hobby. So many companies use Gen Con Indy as their jumping off point for new games, for new products, ways to keep people interested in their companies and businesses and the games. It is where people go to launch and to be seen, to be heard. And the fact that this is going to not happen this year, I tell you, it's going to hurt a lot of companies. You're going to see a lot of changes, not just for this year or next year, but for years to come, with how products are done, how games are released, schedules, design, all this kind of stuff. I think you're going to try to see more of a smaller, more nimble set of operations coming up. And maybe things won't be as flashy. Things might be outsourced more. You're going to look at cost-cutting measures everywhere. And I hate to say it, but some of our favorite game companies, especially the indie ones and smaller ones, might not survive this. So if you have a favorite company or there's an indie publisher out there that you really like, please get in touch with them. Tell them you support them. If you can, buy a product from them if you're so able to afford it. So go on over and head and do that. And that kind of goes in line with that one of the Kickstarters we showed off yesterday, where the people over at Hyperborea are doing some dice as a Kickstarter, and they're very much a small and indie game design company for role-playing games. You can check them out. Frog God Games. I talked about having here Bunnies and Burrows. You can support them if role-playing games are your thing. So that's something you could do. And for other things, I mean, Bad Squiddo Games, Things from the Basement, We Wolf Miniatures, your local game store, they're all going to be hit. So whether you love the Hobby Bunker to somewhere else, give them some love if you can. I know we all can't, but if you can, even if it's a paint pot, a brush, some glue, something, it makes a difference. It really does. And it sounds silly to say it, but it honestly does. If nothing else, it helps them with their mental health, this is the year of mental health for Wargaming Recon. Every year is, right? But this is our focus on mental health this year. So that is a thing for you to be aware of. So that is Gen Con, and that's huge. That is just so big. We actually have another, I'm just pulling it up, another Kickstarter I want to share with you. And I don't want this to be like Kickstarter coffee break or anything like that. But this is an interesting one that was made aware to me yesterday by Jamie, who's a part of the team. And this is the Liya Chronicles Cooperative War game. Set in dinosaur-infested jungles with pirates and ancient technology. So this has been funded. They had a goal of just under 8,000 American, and they've raised almost $71,000 with 13 days to go. And you can find this on Kickstarter. I'll drop a link to it as well into the chats here for people who want to check this out. But the thing that I think is really neat about this, well, first of all, I think the pricing is high. It's expensive. It's a board game that comes with cardboard cutouts that stand up, but then you can upgrade to miniatures that you paint. So you have that fusion of minis and board games, which is very popular. To get the board game, the full board game set, is about $48 American, so about $50. And then if you want with any sort of miniatures, if you want your heroes and actual dinosaurs, you get to spend about $122 American. But the miniatures look really cool, and the board actually looks really neat. So you can see right here, the board map right here is 24 by 32. Nice colors, nice design. The scenery tiles that look really cool. Custom dice, which some people hate and some people like. You got cards that are, you can tell are designed really well. The dinosaurs look awesome, even here on the cutouts. And then as we scroll down, let's look at the minis. The minis look really cool. So these are the heroes, the player characters, basically. And they just have so much character, nice sculpting in them. There's been additional weapons unlocked and arm swaps, so you can do other stuff. And then they're working their way towards unlocking other stuff for these. But then the dinosaurs. Look at these dinosaurs. They are so cool. I love these dinosaurs. And I want to get the dinosaurs, but I don't want to pay the price to get all the dinosaurs that you get in that 122 set, because the $122 level includes a basic dinosaur bundle, which is 6 models. And for those 6 models, it would cost me about $46 before shipping, which is like another 22. And just I can't justify that. But the dinosaurs look really cool. I like the idea of the dinosaurs. There's a deluxe one with bigger ones on 30 mil bases, and here's some pirates. But if you scroll down, It's going to take a moment for it to get there just because there's so much stuff. These are all the package levels and everything. But when we get to the stretch goals and get past that, you can see there's extra dinosaurs that can get unlocked. And that you can then get them, keep on going. Yeah, they've unlocked a lot of things. Keep on going, and then you can do add-ons. So you back at that lower price point, which is $3 American or two British pounds. And then you can just get the dinosaurs. You can get them one off, but there's like really cool ones. Here's a 50 millimeter base size model, the Baryonyx. He's 23 pounds. He looks really cool. And this sculpting is awesome. Magnosaurs, Julie's on 40 mil bases. I don't know. They look awesome to me. And I know they might not be everyone's aesthetic, but it's really cool. It's Ceratops here, 50 mil base. He's being sculpted. That's huge. Look at this stuff. But I think it'd be a lot of fun to paint and to go at it. I could see these being something that would look really nice with some contrast paints, actually. Or you could do just about anything that you like. So that is that Kickstarter, and I know Jamie's backed it, and he's all excited about it as well. Let's see. We have Jorg here. Good morning, Jorg. Yes, Jorg is owner of Things in the Basement. As we're saying, support those small game companies and indie shops. Buy some stuff from Things in the Basement. And then Dale says, Bunnies and Burrows is still around. I remember that from the early 1980s. Yeah, so this is an updated version of it that has all sorts of extra stuff, and it has new adventures and things for it, and just wonderful things that are in here, and all sorts of stuff that you can do. And I showed off some of this the other day on a Pandemic Coffee Break last week, I think it is. So if you want more pics and stuff, you should check that out. And I actually I got bunnies from Bad Squirtle Games because I love bunnies, but I'm thinking they could be cool for this as well. Now, why don't we head on over to something else that might be of interest, something that you can do tonight if you so wish. So the people over at Show Us Your Crits, which is a group of people who I'm friends with online, headed up excuse me, by game designer James Carpio, who is like the game guru for TSR Games, is doing this awesome streaming event. I'm popping a link into the chat right now. And it's kind of like those Netflix watch parties, but unlike that, you don't need to download anything. You don't need a Netflix subscription to watch. And he streams it, and then you click the link, and I don't know, it works is what it is. So he's showing the movie Escape from New York tonight. It starts at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'm going to be there watching it. And it's like the Netflix watch party where you all watch the movie together from the safety of our own homes. And then there's a chat box so you can chat with each other about the film and everything. And the little blurb about this is Show Us Your Crits presents Movie Night. Escape from New York is a pop culture classic, returned to 1997 in the dystopian United States that has turned New York City into a maximum security prison. This sounds really cool to me. I've never seen the movie, so I'll be there. And if you're free, you can go and join in and do it. So like I said, I linked you to the event on Facebook, and you just need to reply and say that you're going. So that's a cool thing. I like that we have this kind of stuff happening as a way to kind of keep us busy and keep us going on. I thought you all might like to see, just to shift some gears, some progress I've made on the Leicester farmhouse. It's a Things for the Basement kit from the upcoming Farms of Gettysburg Kickstarter. I have this as a review copy. Dun, 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 dun. No, this may not look like Mus, but it took a while to get here. So right here, you have this is the front of the house with the doors that move. Yep, door will open outwards. The windows here on the front facing. The porch will come right here off the front, which I'll show you. I have painted it and everything. We have and actually, as I showed before, these are things that I was really proud of. So right here, I use painter's tape so that I could paint this white and the same on the other side, but then also get inside as brown. So that was really neat. Here's this other side of the house. You can see as the porch extends, and you get the windows here. So what I did with the windows is I glued them in place and I painted, I sprayed the paint. So the outside is white and I wanted the inside to be brown. So then you can see again, inside of the windows, brown. I was really, really proud of that. It's something I'm sure everyone's been using for a million years, but it was a new technique for me. The back, and then this side right here, there's going to be a thing that gets put in here that's a little stone, fieldstone kind of accent. And then inside, we have a lot of brown. And then we have the chimney here. Now, when I built the chimney, I didn't think it was going to be a problem at first. But the chimney didn't want to go all the way into its base. And you can kind of see right here, there's a little bit of a gap. And between that and between how I built the chimney, it actually tilting away from the wall, which means I can't fit the roof on. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do something risky. So I got this big gap here. You can see, right? Look at that gap. So I'm gonna put a butt ton of super glue, and I'm gonna hold this back and clamp it as much as I can. I don't actually have clamps, so I'm gonna have to get some sort of clamps or something, and hold this so that it goes straight against, because it's supposed to be abut the wall like this, and do that. Because then when I do that, the roof will go on like so, and it'll fit on. Okay, so I'll do that. I did do some extra painting on the chimney and the floor, did dry brushing and inking and that kind of stuff. I did not ink the outside because I really want the white to pop. And I have to do inking and stuff on the roof. You can see the roof panels here. But then also for the next phase, I had to start painting stuff. So let me take down my handy dandy box here. It has all my stuff. So the front porch. And this has a nice feature right here, which is a door. It doesn't open. That goes to like a root cellar. So I'll paint the hinges a little bit of a metallic color. We actually have the front-facing part of the front porch. So this will actually end up going right in here. It'll slide in when I actually, do it. And then it'll slide right in there. So it'll be like that. And then you'll have the floor. And then this is a really cool thing about this kit that I like. So it has a foundation, which will raise up like the whole area. In the foundation, I painted gray, and I'll pick out a couple stones here and there on different parts of the foundation and do them darker or lighter. So you have this that kind of goes the whole way around. And then this is the accent piece that'll go into the wall. So it'll look something like this. And that gives you an idea about how much the foundation will raise. And again, I'll paint like an odd stone here or there, darker or a lighter color, just to kind of give it a little bit of a different look. So making progress on this, as usual, having some difficulty, but that's me, not the kit. And I'm excited about doing this. And I'm really mad about the chimney. And like, I feel like I should have known beforehand that it was going to be a problem, and I didn't. So when you do yours, make sure you pay extra close attention to the chimney and you don't make the same mistake I did. Let's see. We have David saying good morning from Virginia. Good morning, David. And Augustus. Good morning, Augustus. Thank you for joining us today. And now I have something else I wanted to show you. So I'm going to show you over here. We're going to share the screen with you to bring you to the official Wargaming Recon Facebook page. Just have to scroll down. Take a moment. So I put a picture up this morning that I took of my eldest, and I was thinking that it's a really interesting. Come on, here we go. That it was that it struck a chord with me. So this is a picture of my eldest. She's doing a school project, painting her interpretation of Monet's sunflowers, I believe. And so she had like watercolor paints, like those little, things that you get as a kid that come in a little tray and you paint, you just add a little water. But she ran out of blue. And so she needed blue. And my wife asked if I happen to have any blue. And I said, of course I have blue. So I pulled up my Folk Art True Blue paint. I brought it up, and it's different than my kids have ever used before because they use watercolor or finger paints. So I had explained about like how you put the paint in and how it's so thick. And I teach her a little bit about the importance of thinning paint. And so you can see she's using one of my paintbrushes. She used it yesterday as well. It's like painting week at school. And just kind of go into town on painting. And what struck me as really interesting was that my wife was so apologetic about asking to use any of my hobby supplies. And yesterday, after they painted, like she cleaned them, and I could tell she felt bad because the bristles turned a different color than whatever color my kid was painting with. And it doesn't bother me at all because these are just tools, right? The things that we use. And I don't know about you, but for me, it's important for my family to know it's not just a mine thing or just a their thing. It's an our thing because we are a family, but also that it kind of gets my kids to think, oh, well, I can use these for this and for that, and maybe get an interest into some aspect of this hobby. And so I started thinking today about how we as parents and grown-ups use our hobby skills for those around us, for our friends, for family, for our kids, in my case, maybe in yours as well. And so I'm curious, how do you use your hobby skills with your kids? Do you let them get at your paint supplies and your brushes and things? Do you let them use your block or your miniatures? Do they paint with you, build terrain and scenery with you? What do they do? And I know for many of us, we talk a lot about wanting to grow the hobby and the grading of the hobby and about having the next generation get into the hobby. And these are all, I think, valid things for people to feel and to think. But it's one thing to feel and think it, and another to actually do something about it, right? So I'm curious about what you do. What do you do? Honestly, seriously, leave a comment. What do you do about growing the hobby and sharing your hobby with your friends and your family and your children? So clearly, this is one example for me. I've talked in the past about my eldest here painting stuff with me, and she clearly has an interest about all this kind of stuff. So that is something that I really enjoy, and I like that she wants to use this, and she got all excited, and she was asking me for purple, and I was like, well, I don't have purple paint, but you can make purple paint. And I explained to my wife how these are acrylic and they're craft paint, so really they're 100% safe for her and the kids to use and all of that kind of stuff. So just something to think about, really, with all that. And that's honestly the last big thing that I was thinking about today about sharing with all of you. Otherwise, I do want to say we are continuing to add more recordings for the podcast with guests, in particular guests from across the pond and in other parts of the world, because I will be returning to work, which I guess is something I should share with all of you. So I've said from the beginning that I would do these pandemic coffee break live streams for the duration of my time working from home. And that's going to be coming to an end soon-ish. So that I believe June 1st, that week, whatever that is, I will be returning to work. And I don't know exactly when, but I do know I won't be there the full time, and that I'll still be working from home for a chunk. So whatever days that I'm working from home, when I'm able to do a live stream of Pandemic Coffee Break, I will do. And there might be some where I'm not. So we might have a change in schedule, but I will let you know in advance when that happens, so you can keep up to date with all of that. But otherwise, until then, I'll be here with you Mondays to Fridays, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for our coffee breaks together. So I want to thank everyone for taking the time to join here for the coffee break. Please remember to support your friendly, independent game companies and businesses. They really are going to be hit hard by Gen Con. And don't forget about the video tonight that we're going to be watching. So that'll be kind of cool. I'm looking forward to that. Again, by Show Us Your Crits. I put the link in the chat there, so you can click on that as well and go ahead and do that and have some fun. And I want to tease that there might be a special guest later this week on the coffee break. So that's something to keep an eye out for. And also sometime this week, I'm expecting my new laptop, my new MacBook Pro, which means that depending on when it arrives, I might have to shift around the coffee break so that I can get my new machine set up and ready to run. But otherwise, we're here. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to join me today. Please remember, very, very importantly, don't trust Karen on Facebook. Don't. Karen, if you're watching, why are you watching? And also, no, you can't speak to my manager. I want to speak to your manager, Karen. Where's your manager? Huh? With your swept blonde hairdo and your look like, I can do whatever I want. No, you're wrong. Listen to the scientists, the experts, the doctors, the medical professionals, whether it's about the pandemic or anything. They know what they talk about, not you, Karen. So sit down, be quiet, Karen. Do not trust Karen on Facebook because she's wrong. That's what I have to say about that. Otherwise, be kind to yourself and to others. Remember, good enough is good. These are unusual times, even as things are starting to open up and restrictions are lessening. It's a crazy world out there. So let's lower our expectations. As weird as that sounds, let's just do that and take a moment to just be thoughtful and say, that's okay. I could do better, but I could do worse too. And it's okay. Because we're going to get through this. I promise you, we'll all get through this. This too shall end. So until next time, you know the drill. No matter how busy you are, no matter how much time you're spending thinking, dang, Jonathan messed up that chimney. What was he thinking? You know that you need to, you have to keep on gaming. Thanks, everyone. Be well.